shirt on there. Yes.
What kind of shirt? What is that?
It's well, obviously, if I don't know if we get it on the screen, but I think we can. Yeah, I'll read it out.
Oh, just read it. Yeah.
It says Staten Soccer Reports.
You're watching the Staten Island Soccer Report! You're watching the Staten Island Soccer Report!
Thanks for watching.
You're watching the Staten Island Soccer Report. And don't forget, Monday Live.
You are watching the Staten Island Soccer Report. And don't forget, Monday Live.
Well, Monday Live. Guess what? It's not Monday, Frank, but it's Saturday Night Live. Let me just do some cleaning up here. Let me see if I could just take this out of there. And hold on. Still learning as I'm going along here. All right, remove, and we should be good to go now. All right, Frank, thanks for coming on tonight remotely. You know, I'm not going to say who needs CTV because we need CTV, but thank goodness for this. You know, otherwise there would be no show. You know, but yeah, and obviously we're going to upload this show to CTV, and it'll be airing whenever they upload it, probably within a week's time. So what's going on, Frank?
Nothing much. Just trying to stay warm.
Yeah.
And virus free.
Yeah, that's. I mean, right now, I guess those are the two most important things. You know? I know you battled a little bit, but you know, thankfully, everything seems to be okay now. Well, you know, if you watch the news, and we don't want to get too much into this because we want to talk soccer. If you watch the news, they'll drive you nuts, you know, with this thing. They just shove it down your throat, like, you know? So kind of like just shut off the TV and let's talk some soccer, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we could jump right into, you know, we'll start off with the strikers. Just today, like I called you earlier today, we signed up for MOSA, so we're going to be playing in MOSA in the spring. We just started training indoors a couple days a week. Still really don't know what the team is going to look like in a couple months from now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, with everything going on.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the only part. We don't know how it's going to look yet because obviously I think there's going to be some more players added, you know, to the team. Let me just load this up here. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, to make us, you know, improve us a little bit more, right? As far as the strikers go, I really, like I said, it's a kind of a bittersweet. I was thinking about it today because this is the last season that, you know, the team is going to age out. So kind of a little bittersweet with that, you know, as far as coaching my daughter. But, you know, I'm going to try and drag it on as long as I can, you know.
Of course.
Just count every second from now to the end of June or mid-June, whenever the season ends. You know, just try to just drag it as long as possible. Can't wait to get back outside as soon as the weather breaks here, maybe a couple months. You know, I'm not really a big fan of indoor soccer. I think you know that. I've said that plenty of times. But I do understand that we have to continue training. I get that part of it, so that's why, you know, we rent out the gyms. But definitely not a big fan of the gym. You know, let me rephrase that. If you had like a professional indoor arena, like say a Madison Square Garden, where they had the boards, you know, and they have the glass and they got the turf here, right? Yes, then absolutely, I'm all for playing a season like that, right? But, you know, we're playing on hardwood floors, we're playing in gyms, there's bleachers on halfway on the floor, things like that, right? I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, neither am I. But for practice,
you do
you do what you have to do.
Yeah, no, again, I understand that it's always better to keep them going all year round instead of shutting it down for like 4 or 5 months and then starting up again. But we got about 4 practices outdoors, right? And we were training for before we shut it down for the holidays. So we did that, and now we're picked up again. The touches on the ball, like they say. The trainers always say you got to get touches. So we'll get the touches in, and can't wait to go outside. Hopefully, we'll get at least one tournament in. Hopefully we get a 1-day tournament in. We could do that, and then we'll kick off the season. Listen, it's hard to say now because we don't know what the roster is going to look. The final roster is going to look like. But if any team deserves to win a little something, I think it's us. Because we haven't gone 25 years without winning like another professional team, but we've gone about 3-4 years here, 3 years at least, without winning anything. So this is our last shot to try and get some W's. Now I just want, if you have anything to add on the strikers before we we shut it down with the strikers.
No, not really.
No. All right.
We spoke about practicing twice a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
And that's it for the next 2 months.
Yeah. So I'm hoping the weather just turns right away. Anything over 45 degrees, we're going outside. All right. Anything over that, we'll start training outdoors. All right. So. Just want to, we'll shut it down on the strikers. Good luck to them this season. And if they don't win, we're firing the coach. I just want to show, I want to do a little flashback there. You might get a kick out of this one. Let me add it to the stream. Hold on.
Got anything to say? Awesome game.
Oh, man. You remember those days? All right. I had to give you a little flashback there.
Those were some good days.
You got a better memory than I do. Was that after the 3rd division championship that bad? Or, I mean, I don't know. It looked like the last one.
I don't think it was the last one.
No? All right.
I
think it might have been. Was that the first one?
I mean, I'll go with whatever you say because your memory's better than mine. So.
Well, here's the thing with that.
Yeah, take another look. Hold on.
You got anything to say?
It was the fall season, right? Because we were all bundled.
I think yes. I think it was the first one. Because the second one we would have been bundled for.
Right.
And
the third one we actually ended a little bit early.
Right.
I'm sorry, I get a little bit of an echo.
It's all right.
So basically, we got shut down with Hurricane Sandy.
Right.
So
it was kind of like an abrupt ending to that season, to that 3rd championship.
Yeah, and when this is all done, meaning you and I, with our kids on the same team and stuff, which is in June. We can go back and it all started right there with that little video, and I can't take credit for taking that video, so. But that's where it all started, right there. You can see Marie actually; she's actually at the beginning of that video.
Yeah.
And from then to now, man, I tell you, and we have a couple of girls that were on that team that are still with us, right?
Yes.
There's one. I think there's 4 of them all together, right? including our
Yes.
Yes.
right. So that's that you probably don't see much either. Where players stick around throughout the whole time, like through high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking like U5, right, all the way up to high school.
And
And
the
the four of them played for four different high school.
Right, exactly. And yeah, that's the beauty of it when players want to stay together, right? And I'll even just cut it down up until this group now. The strikers, right? From day one, we still have the core team. We obviously weed it out, a couple players left, whatever it is. But each of them still said that they wanted to stay together, regardless of the winning and losing, all right? So that's always a good thing. We didn't have a bunch of, like the team could have easily said, we're done with this, we don't win any games, we don't want to be part of it, we want to move on. But no, I mean, like I said, the core stuck together.
Yes.
So, I guess that's a proud moment. So, that's something to be proud of, And I get it. Everybody judges you on wins. I get all that stuff, but we're not getting paid here. So, if we keep a team together, for 4 years, I think that's an accomplishment right there.
Yes.
Yes.
We got everybody pretty much signed, to come back. I think everyone did sign to come back. I don't think there's a player that left from last season. And we had a tough season last year. And they said, you know what? I don't want to be part of this. I want to go, winning team about. But I give them credit for that, and I'll let them know that once we meet up again. Talking about going outdoors. And I'll save my speech for the outdoors. Like right now I'll just let Corinne, our great trainer, I'll let her just train them, and I'll just sit in the background and just observe and stuff like that. So, I got again, I got big plans, but we still need to follow instructions, learn every day, listen. So, all right. I don't think there's much going on. I don't even know if there's any indoor soccer seasons going on the island. I haven't heard of anything.
No,
I haven't even.
I know there's stuff going on in Jersey. I know there's definitely indoor stuff going on in Jersey.
Yes.
Right? So there's nothing that I know of. If anyone else knows, they can email me or get in touch with us, whatever. But, all right. That's about it, I guess. As far as strikers and any kind of stuff going on the island. I'm gonna change the background here, Frank, for a minute. I'm gonna get rid of this logo, and we're gonna add this logo here. And New York City, and I'm sure you've heard a few weeks ago that they won the MLS Cup.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on that, Frank? You got one team. Well, you got basically in every sport we have two teams, right? So you got one team that's been around 26 years, and then you got this team that comes in and they play against the stadium. We know the whole history about that. They play on a small field. Pretty much a laughing stock of the whole league was they're playing on Yankee Stadium. So, what are your thoughts on them winning a title just 7 seasons in versus the other New York team that plays in New Jersey? So you got a team in New York that plays on a baseball field. Then you got the other New York team that plays in Jersey, but they're named New York. Can you make some sense of this? What's going on?
I don't know. That's going to be pretty upsetting for the team in Jersey.
Right.
I guess to see one team just kind of come along and win that championship so soon.
So soon, yeah. my look at it, Frank. I've been working at the Red Bull Arena this past season, right? So and New York City actually used that field for their home field a lot.
Okay.
So I've seen both teams a lot this season, and if you ask me what New York City did different than the Red Bull, I really can't tell you. Because they're not like a powerhouse. They don't have superstar players on the team. Neither one of them. Neither New York City have any big name players, right? So I guess NYCFC just went on this run, right? Going on this run in the playoffs because they were both teams were in danger of missing the playoffs. So they actually just went on a run and they won the cup just like that. Players got hot. They scored goals. They won 2 games on penalty kicks, which that's a 50-50 shot. So, I mean, can they repeat next year? Don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that one.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I'd be shocked if they do. I'd be happy in a way because I'm more of a New York City FC supporter, as you can see, than the Red Bulls. Although, I will say this. When the Red Bulls came out, actually the Metro Stars, I like them. I mean, they're the only New York team. So, because of the players that they had on, they brought in some good international players. But, again, I just got to blame it. 26 years is a long time not winning a championship in a league where it's kind of wide open. We're not talking the NFL here or even baseball where it's a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
This Major League Soccer, it's no one dominates. You go back to football, right? The Cowboys, right? The Niners, they dominate. Nobody was beating those teams back then.
Yeah.
This league hasn't had that, although there are teams that won multiple championships, but they didn't have star power, Reason why?
Well, unfortunately, you mentioned these other sports and things. I've only seen 2 championships in my entire lifetime, so I wouldn't be one to talk too much.
The good thing about that is you're still a baby. You got a long way to go. You'll see something eventually,
I hope so. I hope soon.
As far as that goes, I guess I've seen just about what I'm going to see. I got one in hockey. I got a couple in football. I got one now. Well, no, I've had soccer because I was watching the Cosmos back in the day, So I've seen them win championships. And now I've seen this other team. So I'm pretty good as far as that goes. If I don't see another one again, I'd like to see another hockey one, but, I'd like to see the Rangers finally.
Well, obviously, you got baseball too.
Right.
You just don't have basketball with the Knicks.
Yeah, although I would. No, you're right. You know what? You're right. The Knicks, when the Rangers were winning in '94, I was really rooting. It was every other day. You had a Ranger playoff game and the Knicks, and I was rooting for both teams to win the same season. But I guess that's the only other thing. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't followed them this year. I don't think they're playing well, right?
They actually have the same ranking as last year.
Okay.
But
the only thing is, I think other teams are playing a little bit better.
Right.
So
they still have about another 4 months to go, right?
Yeah.
So they're good.
You always have Brooklyn, John.
Well, the good thing about Brooklyn is they got a part-time player now. And I like that he's standing up against what he needs to stand up against. And I like that part of it. He finally played the other night,
You gonna go get his jersey?
Well, I don't know about that. But I got, speaking of COVID, how do you play these games? Baseball, whatever not baseball now, but basketball and hockey right now. And soccer, too. Not in this country, but around the world. Every day you got players out with protocol, health and safety. And it's how do you play games when you have your best players are out, too? It could be anybody.
It's tough.
You want to say, if Philadelphia and New York, the New York FC, right? They played in the playoffs. I think it was a semifinal game. Philly had 11 players out with COVID. 11. A few of them were their star players.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, they still gave New York a game. It wasn't an easy game. They still, the young players that stepped up came in. They gave them a tough game. But, every day you hear, now with, basketball, who's out, players, and football too, right?
Yeah.
I wonder now, I know we're all topic in sports, but I wonder, are they going to move the Super Bowl? I heard some rumors that they may move it because of the city in California with the mandates and no fans in the.
From what I read, it seems like they always say that they have a contingency.
Okay, all right.
But you know Jerry Jones. He's looking to take that right to Dallas.
Well, you know what? That's okay, but his team won't be in it, so I'm okay with that. His team could get the first row, actually. And you know what? That's good. I'm glad you brought that up because down Texas, Florida, Tennessee, just to name a few, is actually living in America. If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
If you live in those states, you're living in America. Unlike where we are right now. So
we're gonna have to get you a cowboy hat.
Yeah. Well, no. Actually, they're playing now. They're playing the Eagles now in a meaningless game. So, what do you think? You know what? Let's just jump off the top. What do you think about this 17 game season? Like 18th week, but 17 games.
It's different because to me it's the first change that they've had in the schedule since I started watching. Years ago, if you watch the NFL in like the 70s, you only had a 14 game.
14, yeah.
So the first change, I believe last year was the playoffs, where they put 7 teams in the conference instead of 6.
Yeah.
And now this is another change.
I was thinking like maybe they should just go to 18, eliminate two preseason games, which are really meaningless. Now you're gonna tell me you got training camp that starts like in August, or actually July, right? So you got your camp, you play yourself 2 games, just to see, you know who your starters are, right?
Yeah.
You just play your backups and whoever's trying out for the team. You have 2 games to play with players and see who you like. So eliminate 2 games and add another one so it's even.
I think this year they actually cut 1.
They did cut 1 this year, right? They did.
So if they cut, eventually in the next couple of years, I think they'll cut the other one.
Another one, right? And make it
just break.
Right. So what you got to do really, if you're the owners, right? Look at the revenue, right, for a preseason game, and look at it for a regular season game.
Yeah.
It's that simple, and it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. The thing is, the players union fights it.
Right. They're gonna fight it because the starters don't play that game. It's like a freebie. It's like it's like a freebie. I get it. But I think you want to give the fans quality instead of all that other stuff that they do in the preseason.
Yeah, 4 games was a lot.
It's crazy. Yeah, the 3rd game they didn't even play anyway, right? The 4th game they didn't really play.
Yeah.
So, all right. Just so you know, we're 24 and a half in. We got to cut it. We got to cut it at like 57. So I could do some editing and then get shipped over to CTV. So Frank, we're on Facebook, we're on the body page that goes on Italy, and we're on the Staten Island Soccer page, and we're also on YouTube. I don't know how, but I got it on YouTube. So, all right. I did forget. I wanted to show a roll-in for the strikers. All right. A little something I put together. I've been doing this lately. a little play-by-play stuff. So let me just show it. It's only a minute long, and we'll give a little bit more exposure to the Staten Island Soccer Club strike. Hold on, because you never know who's watching.
Game right now. There's a long ball in for Gabriella. She makes a little run at the defender. Here she comes. Gabriella inside the 18. There's a shot. And score! Gabriella! Oh, baby, what a goal! And the strikers now lead 1-0. Okay, strikers are scoreless. Here comes Gabriella on the breakaway. Gabriella shot. She scores! Oh, Gabriella! She does it again! She's a scoring machine! And the strikers now lead 1-0. Oh, baby, what a goal! Boy, I gotta tell you, some speed she has.
Yeah, I don't know what was, it was lagging a little bit on that. So I'm hoping that we get some more games on tape. And, yeah, I don't know why that was lagging. Anyway, yeah, it looks like that froze up too for some reason. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're on weak Wi-Fi, I guess.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not sure why. Hold on a second. Let's see if I could just hook up to the Wi-Fi here. Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is on. Yeah. All right. Anything on your end as far as you guys ready to go with Great Kills?
Yeah,
Not much going on.
You guys are set to start in the spring, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully,
mid-March.
Right. And what age group are you going into?
U15.
So that's it, right?
Will be in.
I
have 2 a year. The spring
And the fall.
and then another full year.
And then another full year. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Still got some time.
So I
think we're gonna move down finally.
Yeah, you were
So
talking
that should be good.
Yeah, you told me about that whole mess up there. Yeah, obviously, if a team is struggling, you don't keep them in the top flight,
Exactly.
And that's what Bruno called me about today. Where we want to be, and I told him I don't want to be on top because obviously we don't know what we got yet, and right in the middle,
Yeah.
So, but again, we have in our case we have to just wait and see how many teams actually sign up.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Let's just hope we have enough teams. I'm pretty sure we will. Even in the height of this mess, Jersey was still going.
They seem to be a little bit more open.
Yeah, we had that one season where, we had to wear the mask on the sideline and all that stuff, right? But then it got lax, it was a little relaxed, like last season and stuff. But that first initial season, we were allowed to play, but everyone had to wear a mask, parents on the same side. Yeah, hopefully we'll go back to, parents on the other side. Where on the opposite side of the field, back to normal, hopefully. All right, Frank, the other topic I want to talk about a little bit is obviously the women's league. I've been going to a lot of those games at Gotham. They play Jersey and they're actually named New Jersey, New York Gotham.
Yeah.
So I think they're just stealing the New York, right? Just for advertising purposes, But again, that team last year lost in the first round of the playoff. Carly Lloyd retired, right? Say la vida to her, because I don't agree. Listen, great players are great players. You don't have to put on a, I don't know, 5 week show for a great player like you know, like a parade every game. You know what I mean? Because then it becomes about one player. We all know it's not about one player, right? So I say to her, you know, don't let the door hit you on the way out. You know? Yeah, she was great. She did great things, but I think it took away a little bit from what their playoff run in the playoffs. You know? And as great as she wants to be, she didn't score anything. They got shut out in the playoff game.
Yeah.
You know. Again, not taking nothing away from her, from her career, what she did for soccer and all that. That's all fine and dandy. But I would have saved all these celebrations. They even moved the game. I actually had tickets to that game at the Red Bull Arena. They moved that game to Philly so she could get her family, because she's from South Philly, South Jersey.
Yeah.
She's from South Jersey. So they moved the game from Harrison to Philly so she could get her family there, so they didn't have to travel. That's
It's a long commute.
Yeah, but it's not. No. For them, it was good. She's from. I wasn't going to Philly. There's no way I was going to Philly.
You could have picked up an Eagles game.
Yeah, right.
Where you were there too.
Yeah. It was a Wednesday night. I could have stayed there for the Thursday night football. You're right. So the kids wanted to go, but I'm like, no. I got to get a pro. The next day is school. I'm like, no. It's not that important. And then it's crazy. I've never heard that they move a game for a player. I never heard that. They moved the venue. It was crazy.
Well, LeBron will last soon enough.
Who? LeBron?
LeBron.
Yeah.
Or Kyrie.
What's going on with him? I mean,
someone's got to tape that guy's mouth shut.
Which one? The one in L.A.?
Both.
Yeah. Really
That's the interesting part, not to get away from the soccer again.
Right. That's all right.
Is someone was saying the other night, let's just say for argument's sake, that Brooklyn played the Lakers in the finals.
Right.
If both teams should make it,
Right.
Kyrie gets shut out of the finals because of California
Right.
and New York.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Well, he's not playing any games against the Knicks either.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I don't get it. We could do a show and probably talk for 12 hours about this whole mess. You know?
Yeah.
It really can, because and I'll just say 30 seconds on if you're still getting it when you get the jab, right? If you're still getting it, what's the point? Like, why? Are you going to tell me that you don't get it as severe? Okay. All right. I may lose some viewers. I may lose some followers after that, but whatever. It is what it is.
That's why you stay out of it.
Yeah.
It's like Michael Jordan used to say. He doesn't give his views on things.
Right. Yeah, there you go. I got my views, but I'm not gonna share them, I guess. And if I lose followers from the page, I do. It is what it is. I mean,
Otherwise, that's when you put the disclaimer.
Right.
At the end of the show.
Yeah.
As a wise man once told us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as far as the Gotham, Frank, I enjoyed, going to those games. The kids like it. It's more, I thought the women's game is more fan friendly, because they would come up at the end of the game, sign autographs on whatever you had, shoes, shirts, whatever, and take pictures with you. So I thought that was more fan friendly. And on the men's side, obviously working there, I really didn't see much of it. Yeah, some guys came, they threw a shirt, whatever, but it wasn't like on the women's side where they actually went around the whole field.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
because it gives you a chance and it looks like they're trying to grow the game,
Right.
like with a little bit more fan interaction.
Yeah. And you're right. And the men's need to do that too. I mean, you know, this league, like I always say, the Mickey Mouse League, they need to do that also. You know, hang out. I could tell you this: the employees, security, and all the staff at that arena or any arena, they don't like it. They want the players in a locker room so we could start shutting it down. You know, but you know, you could get players that'll stay out there for a good, 20-minute, half hour after a game, and just go around the stadium.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, when we did it. I didn't mind, I actually bought tickets that were down low, first row, second row, so I was always down there. All I had to do was just wait for them to come around. And again, what it does, it's gonna be a memory for a lifetime for these kids. You know, you're meeting Carly Lloyd, you're talking to Carly Lloyd, you're taking a picture with her. She's obviously the biggest name, right? So, there's other players too, it's a memory for a lifetime, I think, for a kid. And on the men's side, they should do more of it. I don't think they do enough, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, it looks like they do a lot more from the women's side.
Yeah, and again, the men's, the attendance wasn't great at all. It was poor for the men's side too. It wasn't sold out by any means.
I'm sure.
And I get it. We're still, in this pandemic and stuff, but still, it wasn't sold out. I worked at games where, and thankfully I was working. That stadium sits about 25,000. There's only about 1,000, 1,500 people in the stadium.
Wow.
You're losing money at that, with that. Just to fire it up, put the lights on, you're losing money. I was at one game with New York City. I get it, that's not their home field, but there was 1,000 people in the arena. That's tough. But they're in a tough spot. New York City, going back to them for a minute, because they don't have a stadium, and apparently at that so-called rally or city hall thing that they had for them, apparently they're working on the stadium. They're going to make an announcement with that. So I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, where can they put a stadium in the city? Staten Island? I don't think they put them in Staten Island. I would imagine maybe in Queens somewhere. If like Shea, like what happened to Shea? Is it still?
They demolished it.
So what's there now? Anything?
The parking lot. For City Field.
Oh, so they made that the parking lot. Okay.
Yeah, they switched lanes.
Yeah. See, they need a stadium. Otherwise, they're going to be known as now they're known as the baseball team, the soccer team that plays in a baseball stadium that won the cup. That's what they're known as, And listen, they went out to Portland. I don't know if you know much about it, the history. Portland, and I said this to a couple of people before the game. I said, I don't know if New York City is going to win this game, only because of the atmosphere. Now, in other sports probably, the atmosphere matters sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pick a sport where you would be a little nervous going into, and you have to win one game for a championship. What sport? Where? What city would it be?
I guess it depends on the sport.
Any sport. Pick a sport. One of your teams, right? You had to go to a city where the atmosphere, is bad, is big.
I know growing up, let's say the Knicks with the Boston Garden.
All right. Yep. There you go. You're right. Game 7.
In the 80s.
Game 7 at the Boston Garden. Exactly. Right. So it would have been a tough game to win, right?
Yeah.
With Bird and all those other guys that they had there, right? So the same thing with New York City. Not so much the team, but the fans and the history. This Portland team's been around since the 70s, right? And it's just a soccer crazy city. It's a soccer crazy. Seattle, Portland, tremendous. Kansas City, tremendous, right? So I didn't really think that we were going to win the game. Of course, you know, they're your team, but I really didn't know if they were going to win it only because of the atmosphere. But listen, the best thing to do, and I know you can't do this in basketball because you got so many points that are scored. But actually, what you can do in basketball, I'll tell you in a second. But in soccer, the best thing you could do when you're in an atmosphere like that is score a quick goal and shut the fans right up. And that's what and that's exactly what they did. I was shocked and I couldn't believe it. And then they end up scoring in the last freaking second of the overtime of the game to send it to overtime. The last second, Frank. So yeah, you know, so they kind of shut the crowd out right from the beginning, 2 minutes in. And as far as basketball, I guess I'm assuming it's hard to do that. But if like the Knicks played Boston back then when Bird was around. What the best thing that they could have done was probably go like on a 10-0 run to start the game.
Yeah.
You do that and you set up the fans right away too. So, and that's not easy to do. You know. So, but yeah, we'll see. You know, soccer. You know, they're going to start up. They're actually starting up next month because obviously the World Cup is being played in Qatar. And they're playing in November. So they got to end the season early this year, MLS. And so they're starting up next month. I believe they're going to start, you know, as far as the New York teams, the East Coast teams are probably going to start on the road in California, whatever, or Florida, warm cities. You know, so the snow or the winter doesn't affect them too much. But, yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention, Frank, you know, the World Cup being in Qatar. I mean, I'm obviously more of a fan of the Italian national team than the U.S., although the U.S. is playing better now as of late, right? It's like history shows whenever European teams don't like leave Europe, like countries, like if they play in South America, they don't do well. They go, they come here, they really don't do well. Now they're going to Qatar. I don't think it's the first time I've seen them play in Qatar. I don't know what to expect out of this World Cup coming up, you know, in November. It's going to be weird because they're going to shut down the season because you know these European countries are going to be in a season, so they're going to shut it down for a month, play the World Cup, and then go back to playing a regular season. So it's going to be a little different. And I think it's going to, just because of that, I think it's just going to be wide open. Like any country could win it. You know, I don't think, obviously you got the Brazils, right? You got the Germans and Spain and maybe Italy. Well, speaking of Italy, they have to play two playoff games they got to win to qualify. So they're in hot water. You know? I don't even know if they're going to qualify yet because they're playing in March. They're playing one, and if they win their first playoff game, they got to go play the winner of Portugal, Turkey, and Portugal's got the pretty boy on that team. You know, Mr. Ronaldo. So, yeah, Italy's in hot water, and I don't know if they're going to qualify. You don't even know. And it won't be good for them because they just won the European Championship. And then it's like you take one step forward, 2 steps back. Not good for them in their country, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's basically it. I think that pretty much covers not much going on in Italy. Oh, okay, so we had one, you know, MLS, again, is going to get mocked for signing a player from Napoli. Pretty good player, and maybe not right now, but he was a good player. Insigne, his name is Insigne, right? Lorenzo. The problem I have with this is they signed him to come to Toronto, but not until July. So, and I posted on Toronto's page, like, you guys got the short end of the stick here. What if this guy gets hurt? Right? And he's actually, you know, you got him playing one full. Don't forget, he started in August. His season started August. It ends in May.
Yeah.
He's joining Toronto in July. I mean, this guy already played a full season. Now he's going to continue on playing another. It doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to sign him, you sign him and you get him now.
Yeah.
Why are you waiting until July to bring him over here? Otherwise, they'll make the deal. But I guess that's how this league has to operate. The players have more say, than the club does or the league.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I don't agree with that at all. And I know, I get it. Superstars, without them, they bring in fans and they bring the money in, all that stuff. But I would have signed him, and he would have to come down now.
Yeah, it's hard to make deals like that.
The biggest thing for me, if I was Toronto, what if he gets hurt? Because he's playing now. He's still going to be playing in Italy. What if he gets hurt? And he can't play. Then what? He got damaged goods. I see that the Cowboys tied it up.
It's actually
Did they tie it?
10-7 Dallas.
Dallas, yeah. They're not winning anything anyway. We got about another 15, 14 minutes. They're not winning anything, Frank. We could talk about any sport. It doesn't matter. When was their last championship? Back in 94? Right?
96.
Oh, was it 96? Still long enough. And you saw the real Cowboy team, if anyone's a football, last week when they played a good team. Arizona.
Yeah.
And, Arizona took care of business, But yeah, I mean, the Giants are a disaster. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. They're really a disaster. Like they don't even know what direction they're going in. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
And now,
at least they got two high picks.
Yeah, but Frank, we've been having high picks for the last few years now. So they'll pick a couple of good players, and they'll still. Well, you know what the biggest thing, and I'm not making excuses. A lot of players are getting hurt, but I think it's more than that. I'm going to start blaming ownership here because they're the ones that bring in the GM and the coaches, right? Or maybe not the coaches. I'm going to start blaming this guy Mara. Does he freaking know what he's doing? And it's just like a laughing. That's a joke. We don't even have a quarterback for the last 3 weeks. We had no quarterback.
Yeah.
They had the quarterback lining up as a wide receiver, snapping the ball to the running back. What? Because they knew he garbage. I mean, this is probably the worst stretch that I've seen the Giants since I've been watching them, and that's since 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they had some win year in the 70s.
Yeah. I think I don't know, this guy's not, I think, they're talking about keeping him. So how do you keep a coach and bring in a GM? It doesn't work.
That's tough.
So how do you announce to the fans that he's coming back and the quarterback's coming back? It makes no sense.
I don't know. I still think the way that they get blown out the last few weeks, if they really get blown out tomorrow, he might be going to.
Well, what I would do is tell the fans, and if they're watching here, I don't, who knows who's watching, right? Stay home. Let them play in an empty stadium.
Well, a lot of fans want to come and get their free medium Pepsi.
Oh, Pepsi. That was a joke. That was a joke. I told somebody, how about a refund for the last 10 years?
Yeah, New York football never recovered from that Giant Super Bowl.
And that was only in 2011, right? 2011 was the last time the Giants won. But Frank, you could win a Super Bowl this season and be garbage the next season if you don't bring back the right players, you know?
Yeah.
So that's got to go on the ownership and the GM. That's on them. And they can't put a good team together. And I mean, hey, listen, this guy Judge, who knows? I mean, he's probably a great guy. You know, he can't be a Belichick. He can't be a Parcells. I don't care if you were groomed under them. You're not going to be them. And you can't coach that way anymore because these players are not having it.
That's the big thing.
Exactly, you know. They're not having it. There's too many. The star players are not going to hear you because they know that you're going to go and they'll stay.
Yep.
You know, the coach is gone. First one to go. So that's the bullshit part of it. And this is why I cherish all those games that Parcells coached. I'll go back and watch a game from the 80s and 90s when he was head coach. And you see him on the sideline when Phil Simms comes up, throws an interception. He's over there cursing his shit out. Sit the fuck down. Excuse my language. You know, sit the hell down. And you've seen it. You don't see that no more.
You can't.
The passion of the game, it's gone. And look, if a player does something, you know, if he's making mistakes, the coach has every right to bench him. Look what happened last week, right here at MetLife with that nut job. Come on, what the heck is he doing? You know, imagine him doing that with Parcells. I mean, this guy. I mean, they cut him anyway. But
Yeah.
I don't even think Parcells would have brought him in, you know, to begin with. And you know why he was on the team because of the other guy there.
Yeah.
And that's BS too. See, Parcells was not like that. Oh, I'm going to bring in a guy because he's my quarterback's foot. No. Parcells ran everything. You know, you got to have a coach.
I don't know what the right score with that was.
Brady brought him in. Brady wanted him in there.
Yeah.
That's the reason he was there. But this guy's just a clown, man. Listen, whatever the issue was, you don't do what you did. Two wrongs don't make it right. If he was right where he was hurt, he didn't want to go in. Okay, fine. But you don't sit there and you make this whole thing like a mockery and take his jersey and what the hell is that? Yeah, his ankle looked pretty good when he was doing jumping jacks in the end zone.
The last time I remember something like that happening was when Dennis Rodman left the Pistons.
Another classic.
He gave his sneakers away to a man at the Palace in the early 90s.
I kind of like Dennis Rodman. I liked him. I know he was a little bit of a nut job and stuff like that, but he, you know, listen, every team would want him on that team, right? Defense, right. So, and I'm glad you brought him up because we could touch on another thing with Rodman. You know he's got a daughter that plays soccer, right?
Oh.
Well, now you know. Yeah, and she actually won the championship. She plays for Washington. They won the women's championship this past season. So yeah, long story short with him, obviously, you know, she reported that he was never around, you know, when she was a kid, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, and she, you know, she went out and became, she's a star. She was drafted, I think, #1 a couple of years ago. And she won the championship. He was at one of her playoff games, so I think hopefully, you know, for them that he's back in her life and stuff like that. But yeah, he's got a daughter that's a star. Tillery Rodman. When I saw the name Rodman, I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta look this up. And sure enough, I'm talking to Gabriella about it, and she's like, yes, and this player is going to be a star. Just because of the genes, just because of who her father is, that's what I told Gabriella. Just because of who her father was, she's a star player. I guarantee you. And there you go. I mean, she actually got the assist on the game-winning goal. So, you know, and she's going to be a star player, you know, for that in the women's league. So, yeah, I mean, Got about another 4 minutes to go, Frank. Anything else you want to touch on?
Just trying to think.
How's Trump doing? I haven't seen him around. Well, actually, he's been around a little bit. You know, he comes out every now and then.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. He's starting his own social media.
He did? Really? Truth, Justice, and the American Way?
Yeah, I think it's going to be called Truth.
Okay.
Or Truth with maybe with another word.
Right.
I can't seem to remember right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean...
I think in a few weeks.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk to that. I want to check that out. Definitely want to check that out.
Yeah. You gonna join me on there?
Yeah, I'll be on there. I mean, whatever it takes. Yeah, whatever it is, I'll be on there. All right. Let's see. Do we have any other clips that we could play here? Let me add this one back in since it was lagging before. Hold on a second. Let's put this back in. Let's see.
On the breakaway. She does it again. She's a scoring machine, and the Strikers now lead 1-0. Oh, baby, what a goal! Boy, I gotta tell you, some speed she has. She just blew right by the defense.
Yeah, Frank. You know, I've been doing a lot of these voiceovers they call. So, you know, maybe one day you'll see me, doing an ESPN game. Hey, you never know who's watching, right? You never know. And I tell you this right now, I'll do it for free. Just get me there, and I'll do it for nothing. That's the passion. Frank, if you had a shot to do, maybe even to play, or even to commentate, whatever it is, for your favorite team, would you do it for nothing? Or would you want to get paid? Yeah, I mean, these guys make millions of dollars. Commentating, right? All these guys on these networks. I would do it for nothing. You know, get me in there, and I'm doing it. Let's go. You know? Make millions of dollars for what? Give that money back. Sitting there calling a game, a basketball game, a football game, baseball. They're out of their minds. Millions of dollars they got to sign. Well, you know, Madden, obviously, you know, we talked about him for a minute. He passed away, right? He was one of the best.
Yeah. They were
Right.
saying with him, you know, same thing like Michael Jordan. He always just tried to stay out of everything. Which is why things always seem so much better back then.
Yeah.
Because nobody was pushing their video.
All right, Frank, we got about 20 seconds. I'm going to do a roll-in. Thanks for coming on the show, Frank. And, you know, like I said, we could do this all, you know, as many times as we want. You know, let me know when you could do the next one. And, you know, stay safe. And I'll see you during the week.
Always a pleasure.
You got it. Thanks again, Frank. I'm going to start the rolling now. We're at 59 minutes.